Okay, welcome back to Season Sessions, where we'll bring you all the black news of the week, and we're joined with your host Ada
and your host Hanifah.
And what episode is this? 46. 46. So we're like, is that a big?
No.
So we are. I can't count.
What are you trying to count?
I'm trying to count until we're on the year. 6. We're 6 episodes away.
Yeah.
I was gonna say a week, but that's not
No.
true. That isn't true.
We're not far. We're close to our anniversary.
We're a school holiday away. Summer holidays
summer
away.
holidays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're getting close. We don't know what to do for it.
But we yeah.
Maybe we'll have a party.
What? Just us two?
You know, we can have like this. We can have a spread here.
Yeah.
Just like,
what's your ideal party? Like, if you have a party, a must-have that you have to have, like a nibble, party ring, cocktail sausage. Like, what's your go-to?
what kind of party you talking about?
Like a little like a daytime party. You know the type.
Party ring, cocktail sausage.
Yeah. Squash.
I don't care, to be honest. I think like as long as there's alcohol.
Oh, you're one of them ones.
Because I'm just drinker. Like, no, but like, why are you inviting me to a party and there's nothing to drink? Well, we're drinking juice. And it's not even like I have to drink it. It's just that, is it a party then? Is it a party if there's no alcohol?
It's like when you go to a kid's birthday party and then all the adults are just in the kitchen on drinking rum.
Yeah, like it's not a party without it. Or it's crisps.
Do you know what really annoys me about parties though? You know when you have crisps and there's like a big bowl.
Yeah.
And then you think you're eating like ready salted or whatever.
Yeah.
And then someone mixes.
It's
and then
prawn
you just
cocktail.
It's
always
like
prawn cocktail.
It's so like
aggressive,
disorientating.
Yeah.
It's like you go for one flavour.
Yeah.
Or when they mix like prawn cocktail, cheese and onion together.
Yeah.
People need to work on that.
Or what I hate is I actually hate being at a party and the crisps are near me because I'm gonna finish them all.
Oh yeah, they're your crisps.
These are now my crisps. And then like I hate when somebody goes, what happened to all the crisps? Why are you embarrassing me?
Yeah.
You know I ate them all. You know I finished them all. You left them right here. Oh, they're like, I like also like I like the people that bring like fresh stuff. That's
what
never
do you mean,
me.
like guests?
Yeah, when I'm now thinking of a picnic. What kind of party were you talking about?
I'm thinking like year 3 end of term party.
Sorry.
That's what I got in my head.
I was thinking like a picnic when people bring like some chopped fruit or like maybe some cheese and crackers.
Do love some cheese and
Someone
crackers.
always brings like, wants to be like doing too much, brings like dried like fucking sun-dried tomato thingamajigs.
See, that's too much, and then it's like the fruit goes
It's too
soggy.
much, but then I still eat it.
Yeah.
You appreciate it when it's there, but I won't do that. But I like appreciate that you put in the extra effort.
I get that.
Yeah. Or some people bring a baguette.
Oh, yeah. No, even that
That is doing too much.
That's overdoing it.
Because like only people eat like this much of the baguette and then the rest of it goes stale.
Yeah, I just like the inside.
Yeah.
I find
Scoop
the
it out.
not outdoors, the outer edge a bit too
outer.
aggressive.
Yeah. It can be too much.
Yeah.
Oh God, sorry. I've got a weird pain behind my ear.
Oh.
I don't know what's going on.
You've always got something.
I know. It's really painful. I'm sorry. Oh,
Well, when
anyway.
neither of us are in a good place today, I've had literally like 2.5 hours sleep. My neighbour's alarm went off, and I thought it was my alarm.
Yeah.
So I was panicking.
House alarm.
Yeah, but you
or
would
like
think
fire alarm.
I didn't know what it was. It sounded the same as like, you know, when you're crossing the road, you know, on the traffic light. You know that when you cross the traffic lights, there's a noise sometimes.
Yeah.
That really loud, constantly. When I left my house, it was
like
still
old
going.
People. That's like an old person alarm.
There's no old. It's not old people.
But maybe they have an old person inside.
I know that they don't.
Maybe an old person is visiting.
Well,
did you call?
They
the
should
police?
pick them up. No, I don't. I didn't know what it was until I left the house, and then
because then that means they're not in the house.
I don't know. It seems like they're tuned out to it. My other neighbour, I know, woke up at 4 o'clock too because we were both making noise.
That's when you should be like, you should then call someone because their alarm is going off.
They're 2 people under 30.
No, as in they're not in the house.
What, you think they've been robbed?
Yeah.
Oh.
They're obviously not in the house if the alarm has been constantly going off.
No, well, I didn't know what it was until I left the house. I thought, was this a car alarm? Is this like roadworks?
No, if the alarm has constantly been going off, that means they're not in the house to turn it off. So that means somebody has triggered their alarm.
I see. I don't see.
That is the point of the alarm.
Yeah, but
to
I thought
alert
those alarms.
neighborhood.
I think it's broken because I thought those alarms were meant to call the
Should I
police.
have their numbers?
They just moved in.
They've been robbed.
Well, I'm sorry. But I'm so tired. So, we've all lost out.
Oh my God. Yeah, I reckon they've been robbed.
No, I think they're there though. You don't just move into a house and then leave.
Yeah, because loads of people have like jetted off now that you can. They probably did lastminute.com to Portugal.
Oh, for goodness sake.
They've been robbed. That means also you should be cautious because you might get robbed. Because if the robber's like, oh, we can easily rob this place and nobody gives a shit, you might be next.
Well, if the alarm's still going, they'll probably that's a deterrent.
Yeah. No, because it's like that means like nobody really cares because the alarm is still going.
Well, I'll go down there after. I will update you all next week.
Oh my God.
On what's happening. But gosh, it's loud. And then when you try and get back to sleep, it was in my dream. Ugh. Yeah. Anyway, how are you? Apart from your ear trouble.
I'm fine. I've got really bad cramps, so that's why I'm just not in the mood today, to be honest. But yeah, should we get into the shout outs? Mm-hmm. Do you want to do?
Yeah, so my shout out is Billy Porter, the actor, who's opened up about living with HIV since 2007. He's only just revealed the diagnosis, but if you guys watch Pose, he plays Pray Tell, who is HIV positive. And yeah, he's my shout out because I think it's really good. He said that he was diagnosed in 2007 and he didn't want it to define him. He didn't want to affect his career, but now he's like, this is part of who I am. If you don't accept me, then that's your problem. And I think it just shows how much how much things have changed since 2007, and how with like shows like Pose and It's a Sin. I think it makes people more aware of what things like HIV are, and they're not like how they used to be, where people would be like, "Oh my God," like, did you watch the episode of Girlfriends? Where the woman was HIV positive, and they were all like, "Oh my God, stay away!" Yeah. Like, I think it just goes to show how much attitudes have changed, and I really respect him because he didn't have to come out and say it.
Yeah,
but he has done, and I think it's really good because it's like loads of people are living with HIV, and I think stigma makes things way worse because then people don't want to open up and get help or treatment. And then it makes things worse. So good for Billy.
Okay.
Who's yours?
I'm so sorry. Like,
what an episode.
I am so sorry. As you were talking, like, honestly, whatever.
You weren't listening to what I was saying.
I half was because like, as you were talking, whatever pain is behind my ear was like really doing something. So it just turned. I think I'm getting an ear infection.
Ooh.
Because like it just turned halfway through you were talking, which what you were saying was important, though I'm not discrediting that, but it just turned into white noise.
Yeah, I could see that in your eyes. I was like, is she listening?
I'm so sorry. My shout out is I wanted to shout out Quinta Brunson because she's got a new show coming out that she created called Abbott Elementary, and it's got what's his face from Chris from Everybody Hates Chris.
Oh.
And it's got the mum from Moesha. And it's like a mockumentary style, because those ones are the best. Like The Office, Parks and Rec shit are just about like an elementary school.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's
the trailer
gonna be
looks funny because Quinta is funny. Yeah. So it looks good. And then I have another shout out that I literally just came across and I'm going to try and find it now. One second, because I want to get her name right, and I've lost my notes. I'm not prepared, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm usually so prepared.
My school motto was failing to prepare is preparing to fail, and it was in every single classroom. And I think about it all the time.
That's
because
not.
I'm so unprepared.
Is that like a good thing to tell kids?
It was just like, well, you failed to prepare. You're gonna fail.
Oh my God.
Yeah, scary, isn't it?
My other shout out is Erin Jackson, who is the first black woman to qualify for long distance speed skating in the Olympics. So she's like, that skating that's like, whoo, do
Do some more.
like, they're going.
I've never seen that. Is it
like,
icy?
it's ice skating.
Oh,
the
right,
running
Okay,
one.
I didn't know.
Yeah,
I thought it was like roller skating.
Oh no, sorry. The long track speed skating is like when they're like ice skating, but they're like going like.
Oh, that's sick.
They're whipping it. Yeah. So she's the first black woman to qualify for that, and then my other one is just Naomi Campbell for becoming a mother. Did she say what the baby was called? No. Do we know if it's a boy or a girl?
Just go.
Okay. She is a mother. Yes, she is a mother to a girl. And that's good. It's never too late to become a mum if you want to become a mum.
Yeah.
In this day and age.
You don't have to be bound by society's pressures to have a baby before you're 30.
Yeah.
She's what?
She's 50.
Yeah. I mean,
I
she
would say
adopted
so.
the baby, but yeah, see?
Yeah, obviously,
there are
like,
options. There are many, many options.
There's biological things, but
Yeah.
you can adopt a child.
You can do what you want to do.
You could do surrogacy. You can do...
I mean, there's financial
I think those are the two.
limitations, but
Well,
look,
she's
Naomi is
literally a
not bound by
millionaire,
them.
so that is fine. So
Yeah.
I think as a millionaire,
Yeah,
you can do whatever
the
you
world
want to
opens
do.
right up.
Yeah, exactly. So it's good for her. It's never too late to become a mother if you have the means to. But it's also really nasty. Like, loads of people are like commenting on like who the baby daddy is, but I don't really know if that's your issue.
We don't care.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't really care.
can a woman not choose to be a single mum?
Yeah, and also
who
like,
cares?
who's looking? Do you ever link somebody to Naomi Campbell? As in, like, through the door, apart from the last maybe 5 years, where people win the whole Skepta or potential whiz kid or whatever. I think those were all fake relationships. I don't think anything was happening. I don't ever think of Naomi Campbell linked to a person.
She's above
I
that.
see her as a singular being that is
An
above
entity.
every man on this planet. Who's good enough for her? Nobody. Really and truly. So yeah, just leave her alone in her newfound motherhood. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
Well, on the topic of people talking about women when they should mind their own business, into the news segue.
Oh, sorry. I thought my phone died. I'm sorry. I stopped yesterday.
God,
I'm having a good day. I thought my phone had died, and then I was like, I'll have no notes. I won't even know what to talk about. Go on. I didn't want to interrupt. You keep going.
Yeah, Tracy Ellis Ross has opened up about pressures to get married, to be in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously she's a woman who is... How old is she? I don't know. But
She's
people
like
always
at an
commenting
age.
and
Yeah.
they're like, why is she still single? Oh, why does she want to be in a relationship? But she's basically...
But why do people care? You
Yeah.
know?
Worry about your own self.
She's like, I would say she's like 45.
But it doesn't matter.
But
because
she's also like one of those people that I don't even see you being linked to anybody.
an entity.
Yeah. Do you know, like, you have the aunt that is just like single, but like
Single rich aunt.
I just see you as a single person.
Yeah, well,
Not
she
everybody needs to
said
marry.
like society spoon feeds you. So she used to put herself to sleep dreaming of her wedding, and then she would love that.
So she
but,
was really what's her face?
But now she's like, I've got so much things to do.
she really sounds like Joan.
Well, yeah, she is. You could tell when you watch Girlfriend. She's Joan. But she's just like, I've got other things to do, and she's
Yeah.
like, people are like, why are you happy and single? And she's like, well, you want me to be sad and single?
Why wouldn't you be
Like
happy
she
and
said, she's
single?
open to a relationship, but you can't be like, oh yeah, I want to be in a relationship now. I'm in a relationship. You
Being in
can't
a
just force
relationship
it.
is stressful.
Though people do force it sometimes.
and then they divorce. So
At least I think it's.
it's still sad
Yeah.
for them.
I think unless you have all the information about somebody, don't comment too much. Don't like call them out. You don't know what people are wanting to do, what people are doing behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, unless she said that she wants to get married, she can't find anybody, then maybe you can comment. But like,
Yeah. She
has
says,
said
please
that.
send in your comments. Then you can comment. But I like that she's opening it up about it as well, because I think a lot of people feel a pressure to be married by a certain age,
Yeah.
or like be in a relationship to be on the timeline to be like, I need to be married by this age. So I need to be in a relationship for X amount of years.
So many years, and then, but then you're just forcing it, and then you end up being with these like dead people.
Yeah, or being sad because you broke your own timeline rules.
Yeah,
right?
or you just like, or you have kids and you ain't got no money for kids, but you just wanted the kids. Now you're struggling with kids. And now you're in dead relationships. You might be on blue therapy. Like, you don't have to force these relationships. Like, I feel like if it's not working, just like, you know.
Yeah, like,
get rid of it. Like, it's not by force.
Also, there's nothing wrong with being single. Like, it's okay to be single.
It's weird that this discussion is. I thought everyone. I didn't feel. Are people still doing marriage pressure in this day and age? Like,
you'd be surprised.
I don't get it.
You would be surprised, man. The amount of times people ask me,
when will you marry?
Yeah.
When, Hanifah?
Mind your business. I can't think of anything more embarrassing than getting married, like a wedding.
Mean?
The idea of walking up an aisle, everyone looking at me. Come on, you know me. I will trip. Like, I don't. No,
just go barefoot.
No, I don't know. I'll cut my foot or something. White dress. Me in a white dress.
I think I'd go barefoot. I wouldn't trust myself to wear heels underneath and not fall, but I feel like I'd want my dress to be long enough that no one's gonna see if I'm wearing shoes or not, because I think I would trip. But I like the idea of a wedding.
Do you? Because you grew up on Disney Princess.
No, I like Disney, but I didn't grow up I didn't want to be a Disney princess like that. I just like the idea of a wedding. I like the idea of a traditional wedding. I want a traditional wedding. The white wedding is like whatever, because every white wedding I've been to has been hella boring. Like, they're always boring as fuck.
I don't know. I think
also, if you're a white person that's getting married, can I get invited? Because I've never been to a white person's wedding.
I haven't yet.
No, I don't want to see what the vibe is.
Do you know, all weddings, I've never been to a wedding and been like, I don't enjoy this wedding. I love going to weddings, but I do notice it's stressful for the bride.
Yeah.
Because you're basically the host. Like, imagine, I'm trying to just marry, and then I have to pay for dinner for like 1,000 people.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how many people. A lot of people.
1,000 people?
I don't know.
You've got 1,000 friends.
I have a big family.
1,000.
And then there's all politics. It's like, oh, if you don't invite this aunt, then you can't invite that aunt.
That's why my plan is to get married abroad. Because if you can afford it, then come. If you can't, then that's your own business.
You'll be surprised about the amount of people. If you get married abroad somewhere cool, they're like, oh,
no, it's going to be in Iceland.
No. Like, oh, we've always wanted to see the Northern Lights.
That's them.
We decided to make a trip out of it.
But not everyone will be able to do that, because like the relatives, you know, when you go to these big weddings, there's like relatives that like you have to invite, but you know, like, I don't actually talk to you. Those ones won't pay to go to my Icelandic wedding.
Well, maybe they want to see the Northern Lights. They are very beautiful.
Well, you know, it's first come, first serve.
Oh, they're the ones who always want to make a speech as well.
That's first come, first serve.
And they want to dance with you.
No.
It's just, I think having a wedding, I don't see it for me.
Or just do, loads of people get married before the actual wedding.
Eloping.
No, like, you just marry, so then you have your marriage to like you and like, I don't know, your 1-2 guests. And then you have the wedding.
See, I've been to weddings like that, and there's politics, because then people are like, how comes they were invited to the actual wedding? I was only invited to this bit. People always have something to say.
Churches aren't that big. Like, if you're getting married in a church, there's only so many people that can fit. Oh. And my rule is, if you've not called me personally in the past year, to be honest, you're lucky I'm paying for your food.
That's true.
That's how I'm going to do my rankings.
In the church weddings, the priest man or the marrier, I've been to a few weddings where he starts telling a story about his wedding.
This is why you can't. I won't be using a Nigerian. I'm going to be using a white priest that just gets to the point.
No, they all do it. I had to listen to an anecdote, and you know when you go to the rehearsal as well, they tell the anecdote.
A lot of priests have. I'm not going to say, actually, it's fine. But I don't want to hear about your sham marriage, to be honest. It's not really going to set the tone, is it?
It's not the priest as well, because priests can't marry. It's the
pastor.
Pastor, yeah.
Yeah.
But,
or the marriage person.
Yeah. If are you wanting to get married, get in touch.
or don't. But if you're a white person that wants to invite me, that'd be great, because I was meant to go to my first white person wedding this year, and obviously COVID has fucked it up. So
Did they get married or not?
they're pushing it. But I feel like it's gonna be pushed, and I still won't be able to go anymore.
Wow.
So that's a shame. So I also need more white friends.
Yeah, diversify your friend group.
I have white friends.
They're just not getting married.
They're
No
all
one's
very
getting
single.
Marriage is I don't know. It's a bit old fashioned now.
But I feel like, obviously, I'm not Pip. Pip seems to be going to a wedding, gets invited to a wedding every 2 seconds.
Our sometime co-host Pip is always at a wedding.
Constant.
A destination wedding
and she's
as well.
always like a premium guest, not just a guest. She's
giving speeches.
I'm like, am I not a good friend? No one's asking me to say shit, and I'm also just not being invited. All my friends are in weird relationships.
Yeah, the one wedding that I was going to go to was last year, and COVID ruined it. Well, see, COVID, yeah, that's what happened.
Well,
anyway, on to the next.
Enter the next story, which is.
Something in my eye.
Are you alright?
No.
Are you
no,
okay?
carry on. I power through.
You don't think I'm not gonna sit here and watch you with your eye wide open. You good? Have you got an eyelash? Is it gone?
Have I got an eyelash?
No, in your eye.
Probably.
I guess if we're talking about marriage, we should just talk about Rihanna and ASAP.
Oh yeah. I forgot that they were together. And I know that I posted that story onto Seasoned, and I was fully like, oh, that's a nice thing to say about someone, your friend. And then I remember that they were together.
I forgot they were together as well.
Yeah.
I think I wanted to bury it. I think I just wanted it to be like, it's not confirmed, so hopefully it's not a thing.
I don't know. It's their business. But it seems like Rihanna's quite a private person.
Now.
And ASAP is saying a lot.
Well, he said that she's the love of his life. And I'm not surprised, because Rihanna would be the love of my life if I was with her as well. So that's not anything new for anybody. She tends to be the love of most people's lives. And yeah, I think
he won Prettiest Man Award.
Okay.
But he is pretty.
He's not,
I think he's really pretty.
I saw those pictures yesterday and I was like, I don't see it anymore.
Oh.
I thought his whole face changed to me. Maybe now he's fully off the market, I'm no longer interested.
You missed your chance.
It's just like, I saw the shoot and I was like, is this the same guy I used to fancy?
Oh, you fancied him?
Yeah, I fancy a lot of people. But it just wasn't hitting anymore. Something had lost. The je ne sais quoi it's lost its little, the magic is gone. It's probably now he's loved up. The toxicness has left. And I'm no longer interested. It'd be interesting to see what Rihanna says, because ASAP is so problematic. I feel some kind of way.
Rihanna has her moments of being problematic.
Yeah.
So, But also, I feel like she's just... People have commented so much on her private life over the years. I think she's just like, you know what?
I think now that...
Stay out of my business.
I think now that he's come out with this big statement.
She's so annoyed.
Imagine.
She's like, you call him, she's like, ASAP.
What's happened?
What are you doing,
I
man?
thought we weren't going to tell anybody. But now he's come out with this big statement. She might say something. Because she hasn't done an interview in like a hot minute.
Because she knows that people are going to ask her about the album.
I do believe something will come this year. I feel like something bubbling in my soul. And last time I felt something bubbling in my soul like this, Beyonce dropped. I don't think Beyonce is going to drop soon. However, she's posting a lot. So like she might also be dropping. But last time I felt this energy in the ether, Beyonce dropped. And I think it's probably going to be Rihanna's time.
Maybe this is a whole PR thing. And it's a
true.
love
it's
album.
It's a press roll. No. Don't care about that.
It's all love songs.
Don't care about that. Don't want that. Don't want that.
Yeah.
I want the
full
cockiness, everything.
No.
But ASAP was on that song as well, actually. But it could actually be part of the press rollout. And then she'll come out and say something, and then we'll have a single by the end of summer. Or bang in the middle of the summer. Who knows?
If we get a summer.
if we get a
If
summer.
they just have the sun decides to show
But
up.
I'll be happy this listening in my house. It's just like, obviously, ASAP's made such weird colorist comments that he hasn't apologized for. So it would be interesting to see what.
What did he say?
Oh, just like things like black women shouldn't wear red, and he doesn't.
Why?
And comments around dark skinned black women. So that's why I was like, okay, Rihanna, I'm not.
It's so easy.
I'm not
to
happy.
Just not talk. Like so easy.
These guys are always talking.
Why? Men are speaking.
But maybe she's
about
doing like a
women.
Leigh-Anne, and she's like, well, it's in the past.
Well, speaking of Leigh-Anne, should we talk documentary? What do you think?
I didn't finish it because I just didn't finish it. I got quite bored, to be honest. I got up to the tweets and then I turned it off.
I think there were bits of it that were very interesting.
Yeah, it's one of those, like, I feel like she, I don't know what the documentary is called, but obviously,
Race,
Leigh-Anne,
Pop and Power.
Yes, Race, Pop and Power. Leigh-Anne did that documentary around race of what was happening last year. I feel like it was one of those, like, she was just learning about herself, but I didn't need to watch you do that. Does that make sense?
I get what you're saying. Yeah, and I think it was a lot of her journey, but I think that's how like BBC Three documentaries are. Like they get that the person who is doing it is like it's very like personal to them, and it's like I went on a journey.
Yeah.
But I did find the roundtable with like Keisha from the Sugar Babes, Alexandra Burke, and Ray really interesting.
Neo was there as well.
Oh yeah, Neil was there.
She didn't say anything.
I was watching it on the little screen.
She really didn't. She really didn't say too much, but like it could have been. I would have liked just that.
Yeah,
I would have liked just
roundtable,
like a 30-minute episode of just them chatting, because obviously their experiences are so different. It's just sometimes when it's like when I don't know. Oh, I don't know.
I don't know, because I personally, I like, sometimes I find the subject matters of BBC documentaries really interesting, but I'm just like, this is so personal to the presenter that I'm like, it's good for interesting for you, but that's not what I want from a documentary. So maybe you're just thinking that, like, you'd want something a bit more objective.
Yeah, it was giving me like the energy of like when loads of white people like discovered racism last year. It was giving me that energy. Like Leigh-Anne had just discovered that there was an issue, and I was just like, which is then makes me more sad for her, because I'm like, it shouldn't have taken this for you to realize.
Well, no, because everybody's personal journey is different. So
yeah, that's why I said I feel sad for her, because I feel sad that you didn't realize that you were put in Little Mix to be the black girl.
Well, I think it's
I don't
like
know what you thought was going on before.
I think did you see the bit where it was Jade and her chatting?
No.
Oh, well, that bit was interesting, because I think it's like it shows like their struggles, and Jade was saying how like her whole childhood she'd been bullied for being mixed, and then when she got into Little Mix she was white passed, and then she was like, I'm not going to shout out about that I'm not actually white, because there's obviously privilege, but then she feels like huge guilt because she was like brought up when she was really young, like loving her culture. And it's like that. I think I suppose being in the public eye, it's like it's like one or the other. And I think Leigh-Anne was like part of that as well. Just trying to, I guess, not associate because she just wanted to be a singer and do her thing. But then when she was saying like, if I was some shades darker, would I have been put into Little Mix?
No, she wouldn't.
Yeah, because she was acceptable.
Why is she asking that question?
Well, no, because that's what documentary is, though.
You
asked the questions.
No, that's why it was just like, but no, because the way she was asking it, she was like very confused. Like she was, because it was like Keisha brought it up, and
Keisha was just straight talking. Keisha was not there to play.
Because she was like,
Keisha's been through it.
Because Keisha was basically like, don't be stupid. You were put in this group because you're black, and if you were as dark as Keisha, you wouldn't have been in the group.
But isn't that like, that mustn't be so horrible to actually accept, because she is a good singer. She's as good as all the other girls. She's as beautiful. She's as everything. But then it's like, no, I know. I understand what you're saying, and I agree that she was put in for like that, like as part of that. But I was on top of also being talented. But then it's not nice to be like, okay, well, that's the reason I'm here. Especially when racist people, Little Mix fans are like, well, you're not you don't deserve to be here. You're not good enough.
I didn't say it shouldn't. I said it. I didn't say it would be nice, and I didn't say it wouldn't be hard to accept. It was just, why did it? It seemed like she didn't realize that until the BLM stuff last year.
I think that's denial, though. Denial's powerful, isn't it?
Well, I guess, but like that is, like, if you hung around with certain people, like your own household seems to be a bit skew with as well. So like,
I liked her mum.
Her mum was cool. I didn't really agree with her dad's comments. I also don't agree with her brushing off her boyfriend's tweets like that. So like, or fiance, whatever he is. It's like, I don't.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I agree.
I didn't know if I was supposed to feel sorry for her or not, because I didn't feel sorry for her. There's like, I feel like you get to a certain point. That's why I said like, obviously this is no shade to Leigh-Anne because I do love her, but it was like a journey that I thought an 18-year-old would be going through, not somebody that is 29. Like, she's 30 this year. Like, it was very juvenile.
Yeah, but I think also, I don't know why I'm moving. Like, I'm not like a Leigh-Anne stan, but like everybody's journey is different. But also, I think there was a bit which I think may have been after the tweets part.
Yeah,
that she was saying how when she was started speaking up about like Black Lives Matter last year, that people were like, you don't know anything, like, shut up, you're just a girl band. And I think she must have felt some pressure because it's like,
because she said she had to educate herself.
Yeah, and she does. And she was saying like, these people, like Little Mix, like bands that young people like have so much power and influence over, like pointing people in the right direction. I think she felt pressure that she had to like explain herself and go on this journey and share the journey because people were like, shut up, you don't know anything, you know?
Yeah, but it's why I just implore people, you shouldn't wait for like, a world outcry to figure out the shit that's going on with your own people. I can't expect, I don't know, Jess down the road that is from fucking Scotland and has no affiliation with Black people to stand up for something that I'm going through. If Leigh-Anne, also down the road, who grew up in the Caribbean household, is mixed, has 2 mixed parents, and is also engaged to another Black person, doesn't know about, how are you expecting white people to fight for you if you don't know about yourself? That you can't. It's weird. That's why it's a bit weird to me. It was like it wasn't like, oh, this is like it's not. It was more, I thought it was going to be more of like, this is my like mixed experience, which is like a different perspective to put it on. Not like, I am now finally educating myself about race at 29 years old.
Yeah,
as a Black person. That is a bit.
Yeah, because I thought I thought it was going to be really interesting when they put her parents on and they were talking about how they both had white English mums in like the 60s, 70s. That would have been really interesting to see that experience of how that racism trickles down and then becoming mixed parents. And she was saying she would always identify herself as Black, but people call her mixed, but then her household was Black with like the West Indian culture,
but her dad doesn't identify as Black.
Well, I think that it would have been interesting to delve into that.
That helps,
and those identity issues of how that came about. But yeah, it was they had interesting points.
Yeah,
it made me really like Jade. I really like Jade, man.
Oh, maybe I will watch it because I do really like Jade. I think she's just so
she's good vibes.
I think she's a bit scatty and I really appreciate it.
She'd be good on a night out.
I can see that. I can see that for sure. I wonder what Jessie thinks about it.
I don't know if she watched.
I saw that the community post has been taken down.
I knew it would be a matter of time.
But okay. And I don't know what else we were supposed to talk about. I'm sorry.
Cox.
Yes, the Laverne Cox thing. So on the next story, but I don't have the article. You lead it.
So, promising young woman. People have opinions.
It was horrible.
We will say Laverne Cox was the standout fave.
Facts.
Universally. However, in some European dubs of the film, they went ahead and decided to dub her voice with a cisgender man. In the Italian, Spanish, mainly the Italian one. Some of the Spanish one got released in cinemas. But yeah,
it's madness. If you didn't know that, if you didn't know, Laverne Cox is trans. I think that is completely. I think that is so rude,
so disrespectful.
It is so disrespectful, and it's just like, what? I'm just like, because is it? I don't get it.
No, but
I don't get it because you didn't watch it thinking that this was a man.
No,
You didn't watch, and then she's not listed as a man. So then, what possessed you to use a male voice?
The dubbers move mad because I forgot to say this. You know the Portuguese version of Soul. The man who is the voice of Joe in Soul is a white guy who has done blackface in the past. So I don't know what's going on with European dubbing.
It is still Europe.
Community.
It is still Europe.
I think they're all just
Europe.
You know, moving mad. Universal have apologized,
as they should.
It's been pulled. They said there was no malicious intent, but there
okay,
was
but what was
lack
the
of
intent?
Professionalism.
So
eyes, ears.
It's just like, it's just like, again, with these things, there's many people in a room. There's like, even to get some small thing, even to get a credit changed, it goes through like layers of people. So I would like to know who firstly casted the dub artist and who decided let's cast a man to do Laverne's voice. And then the dub artist, a man, saw, because they watch.
Oh yeah,
they watch the screen as they're doing the script. So you as a man were watching the screen and you weren't like, wait, that's a woman. Why am I, a man, doing the voice for a woman? And that I've only just said two people. There's other layers of people it would have gone through.
It's disgusting.
So it's like, where's the respect? I hope she sues.
Well, she hasn't made comment.
I hope she sues.
Because that's so horrible.
It's so disrespectful.
It's so horrible.
You've gone through your whole process. You transitioned.
This isn't the first time.
Obviously not.
Because in the Italian dub of Orange is the New Black, Sophia was also voiced by a man.
What?
So it's just disrespect on disrespect. And it's also so disrespectful because Laverne Cox has been so outspoken as an activist.
Massively.
So it's like,
Massively.
Okay, so you're taking that, the fact that she has used her platform, used her voice, and then you're disrespecting her on a national scale.
And she's been out for like, I don't know, I'm like trying to think of like where the excuse would come in, but it's not as if, I don't know, it's not as if, I don't know, she recently came out and something was already booked.
Recently
with Elliot Page, if something was already booked and they made the dub and they made the mistake, then maybe you would say, oh, the bookings and the overlap and blah, yada, yada, yada. But Laverne Cox is...
every time.
Whoever keeps calling this phone needs to stop. We don't have nothing for you. It never used to happen. Now look, everyone's calling. I've lost my train.
But yeah, no, it's out of order.
Either way, it was shit.
But also, if I was going to be a dub artist, I would maybe do a quick Google of who I'm dubbing for, because I'd be like, I want to get into their mindset. I want to see their mannerisms. I want to use their voice intonation.
And film beforehand. But no, surely they would have sent them the film beforehand. They didn't turn up on the day and hadn't seen shit. So imagine like I'm the dub person, and you're like, wait, is this like,
is this right? Has there been a mistake?
But then, to be honest, then when sometimes you're like an actor or something, maybe they're like a new person and they didn't feel confident enough to speak up. But that's when your agent says something like,
maybe the editor, get it. I don't know.
Anyone, Chad, like anyone, there's bare people.
It's not like
there's
a one-person show.
If you made that mistake, you just be like, look, Susie, come in and replace this one, because like, what's going on? Oh, I don't get it. But
I think they say there was no malicious intent, but somebody... had some kind of insidious bias to put it lightly.
These mistakes aren't easily done. Like, you can't make it seem like somebody just walked off the street and did it. Like, these people
it's not a careless mistake.
They're booked and they're booked in advance. Yeah, exactly. Or it just means that everybody involved is so shit at their job. Like, it's one of the two.
And or transphobic.
Yeah, that's it.
You know? Choose an option.
You're shit at your job or you're transphobic. You've got two options here. Admit to one. But yeah, that is that.
Well, yeah.
That is that. And in other news, Friends.
I'm so annoyed. I'm so annoyed. I know last week I was like, I don't like watching Friends anymore. I said that, but I did spend a lot of my childhood watching Friends.
My whole
And this is so
childhood.
disrespectful. Not disrespectful.
What?
Disrespectful. I'm still thinking about Laverne Cox. It's so disappointing because I'm sorry. I don't want to watch like... I don't even know the actors, Jennifer Aniston, Courtney Cox, talking about Friends. I don't care about what they have to say. I want to see Rachel and Ross and Joey, not Ross's real name, David Schwimmer.
David Schwimmer.
Like,
yeah.
I don't want that. Do you want that?
It's just like, haven't they talked about the show? Obviously, I was super excited when they announced that they were doing something, but then when they said it was like a talk show, because it's like when they put the guest, I was like, what?
You don't want to see Malala talk about
What
Friends?
the hell's Malala gonna say about Friends? Justin Bieber, like, do you know what's? It's annoyed me that certain people aren't there. I saw that Janice is there,
Gunther's there.
but like, where's Cole Sprouse? Like, you could have done 1 hour long episode. Pay them. I'm sure their fees are like mad high, but the money, even if you paid them all like 10 million each, which is like, some of them aren't making that money anymore. The boys definitely don't need that amount. But even if you pay them 10 million each, you're gonna make that money back. Because if you told this world that an hour-long special of Friends is coming out, everyone and their gran is gonna watch that special. But now you've just given us like a talk show. You've talked about the show so much.
Yeah.
I don't really care.
What are you possibly going to say? There is, if you want to find out behind the scenes facts, go onto BuzzFeed. There is a million articles about Friends. Everything we need to know is
Has
already
been
there.
said. Unless like, I want them to like, maybe they'll address how some things just haven't aged well.
I don't care.
But
about
like,
that.
or do they care? That's the thing. Where's Charlie, man? There's not one black person invited to the reunion.
Well, it was never
Where
about
you at?
that.
But I'm like, are
Where's
you going to
Rhonda?
talk about, Rhonda, but are you going to talk about your lack of diversity? Are you going to talk about your constant gay jokes?
Yeah.
Have they invited Susan? Have they invited Carol? What's going on?
Yeah.
Are you going to talk about like your transphobic jokes with Chandler's mum and dad? And like,
Well, probably not.
and you're like, are you going to say any of that? Because that's what I would like to know about.
It's just I remember someone, it must have been Rachel or Monica, the people, the real ones, on a talk show, and they were saying, oh, if we did a reunion, like a skip forward to the future episode, it would be bad.
Why would it be bad?
Because it could never be as, like when they're like, oh yeah, reboots are never as good, which is often the case. However, I don't care. I would mind.
But
I would be happy watching an unfunny episode just to see, because if it was a drama, but it's just seeing what all the friends are doing.
Yeah, but reboots aren't good. But a 1 hour long special is fine.
Some of them.
Because like when Parks and Rec came back, do
you know I didn't watch that?
Final season is fire. But like a lot of things, like if you do a 1 hour, even when everybody
Gilmore
was doing
Girls, did you watch that? Year in the Life or whatever it was called.
The Gilmore Girls was great.
The revival?
Yeah.
You liked it?
Yeah. It's answered all my questions. Because you always have questions. You just like, it wasn't like, was it as good as Gilmore Girls? No. But did it answer my questions? Yes.
I suppose.
Will and Grace, was it as good as the original? No. Has it answered everything I wanted to know? Exactly. I just want closure. Are Ross and Rachel still together? God forbid. I hope not. That's all I want to know. What's going on with the twins? What the fuck's going on with Joey? Has he settled down? Are Phoebe and Mike divorced? Most likely.
Is Paul Rudd even in this?
He's
reunion?
not. Can you imagine? They could even but not even David. Not even David. I was like, where's not even David?
Well, Paul Rudd's really been doing bits since.
He's more famous than all of them. They had to pay him big money and they couldn't afford it. However, it's HBO Max. Also, how are we gonna watch it, Mr. Worldwide?
I mean, I think we'll wait for it to come out on a reputable streaming platform in the UK, and then get a subscription and stream it there.
If anybody knows where that's gonna happen, because it's gonna be on HBO, unless it comes on Sky.
It'll come on Sky, probably.
Then yeah, okay.
But it's gonna be one of them ones where. No, I'm sorry. I was gonna say that people have been talking on Twitter. I don't think people care that much. I think that they. I don't know why.
Care.
I don't think they do
People
as much.
Care, Hanifah.
You really want to see
People care, Hanifah.
the people that play Joey and Chandler reclining in a Barca lounger They're not even actual Joey and Chandler. They're just the actors. That's not what am I getting?
The
from
trailer
that?
really surprised me because like some
They look
people,
different.
some people aged
I mean, it does happen.
very well, but I feel like there was aging, and then some faces have really changed. Maybe but yeah,
I mean, I'm gonna watch it.
obviously
Am I?
you're going to watch it.
What am I gonna get from it?
You are going to watch it. Like the thing is, like if anybody says, because obviously now we're not gonna get it at the same time unless anybody wants to DM me a live link when it's on. My DMs are open. Thank you. But once I see some tidbits about what people have said, now I'm gonna be like, all right, let's get in there.
Do you know what I want actually? You know when like the Spice Girls come out and they're like, there was bullying here. I want that. Like
They're not gonna say that.
Phoebe spat
They're not
on
gonna
me
say that. That's
when we did
why.
that scene. That's what I want. I want
That's
the
why
drama. I want the
Charlie
fights.
and them lot need to be here. That's why they were invited. That's why they were invited. Because didn't she say that there was a bit of a racial thing on
was
set?
there? I didn't know.
So like they're not invited because David's probably not invited because he was going through that whole Apu scandal.
Oh, yeah.
So, but
I
know where Mindy Collins are.
What's Mindy do? I suppose she's gonna be like, oh yeah, friends inspired me to do my own project.
Is James Corden there?
Yes,
He's
always
he's certain himself into everything. I'm so tired of him.
Why is David Beckham there?
Oh,
What's David Beckham got to do with Friends?
it's true. That's why I said it shouldn't be David. It should be Brad.
But it should even be Victoria Beckham because she's got jokes. Like if you're gonna get around,
But you've got like Reese is there, so that's great for me.
yeah.
But Christina Applegate's not there. How are you gonna invite just one sister? Not the both. At least get both sisters. And Justin Bieber, what are you doing there with your dead dreadlocks?
I bet no. I've got my predictions. Justin Bieber's gonna be there because he's our age. He's gonna be like, yo man, I always watch when I was coming up on tour, my world tour. I always watch Friends.
My world tour.
Malala, like you said.
Yeah, Malala's gonna say, I learned to speak English from Friends because a lot of people say that they learned how to speak English from Friends. Mindy Kaling is gonna say, Friends inspired my career. Whatever, I don't give a shit.
David Beckham is gonna be like, yeah, Brooklyn and Harper, they love Friends. Not Harper, she's too young.
Harper's like 7.
But he'll be like, oh yeah, Harper's just coming up to an age where she's watching Friends.
When I was in Man United, after every game, I was like,
Yeah.
what are the other guests?
Me and Victoria are like a proper Ross and Rachel. Who else is there?
Oh my god. Yeah, really, truly, what are you here for? Like, is Justin gonna say a song? I'm trying to think like if there's any episode that could really link them. Because the only other
BTS, what?
BTS ain't gonna
BTS
say shit.
Cara Delevingne.
Cindy
Crawford.
Oh, I saw on the trailer, Cara Delevingne wearing Rachel's dress. You know the bridesmaid dress, the pink one. She was modeling it.
Okay.
Why do I need to see that?
Don't need to see that.
Why
Don't
do I
need
care
for
about
me
that?
personally?
Like,
Kit Harington, famous for his comedy.
who's Kit Harington?
Jon Snow from Game of Thrones.
Oh,
Not got anything to do with comedy. He's gonna be like, oh yeah, Friends. Watched it on E4. Appetizer and Friends.
Appetizer and Friends, 100% pure pleasure.
We need to talk about though.
The
Why
Friends
was
adverts.
Friends always on TV? Like
Indoctrination. I tell you, that's what, because like you didn't have. I say that my family was addicted to Friends. It's more like the TV was always on.
Yeah.
And because the TV was always on, Friends was always on.
Yeah,
E4 would have run that up.
Channel 4.
But then also, we could have probably watched another channel. It's just like, it was. I have Friends recorded, the finale. Like,
On DVD?
No, on VHS.
Wow.
That's when it was.
2004. I remember I was allowed to stay up late to watch it.
We recorded it on. You couldn't record on DVD on your TV. You could VHS record though. That's how deep it was for us. I think my mum re-recorded over a family video and recorded a Friends episode because it was that deep. But yeah, I don't know
it
what
finished in 2004. But and then from 2000, I would say from 2006 to 2009. It was consistently on TV.
Longer.
Sometimes sponsored by Appetizer, sometimes sponsored by I Go By Toyota.
No, it went.
Sometimes
It was
sponsored by
it was like the Maltesers Chewy ones. You know, the chewable Maltesers. It was like it was like that for a while, and then they never sold them anymore. But yes, I go by Toes for a while. Who's it sponsored by now?
It's
I don't even
Comedy
know.
Central.
When it went no shade to Comedy
TV?
Central, but the second it went to Comedy Central, it fell off. Because the reason why E4 made it good is that they played it in order. So every day was like the next two. Also, the thing is, like, you'd watch in the morning, and it showed twice, one in the afternoon, and be the same episode, but you'd still watch
back to back.
Back to back. But then they would actually play it in order, whereas Comedy Central just pisses them out in any order they want to. And it's always like the London episodes. The London episodes are the worst episodes. Every episode with Emily is like absolute trash. Yeah. It's her face
Emily
annoys me. What's her real name? Probably not. Like I feel like she's probably as uppity in real life as she is on the show.
Anyway, that's all for now. We'll be back. Maybe we'd have listened to it, watched the episode by next week.
Oh yeah, it is. No, we wouldn't have. We wouldn't have because it's out today, next week.
I need the loo, so
okay, we'll wrap it up then. All right,
get in touch with us at seasonsessions@buzzfeed.com.
And that's it.
Yeah. See you
All
next week.
Bye.